Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your man, Phil Williams from The Phil Williams Show. Yes, how you guys doing? Remember, United for Freedom. United for Freedom on Facebook. It's a group of accountability, giving missions out to our so-called conservative representatives in Washington, letting them know that we have their back when they are being conservative, and we have your behind when you are not. But it's more so about accountability and a mission. Support the missions on the United for Freedom Facebook group. There is no other group on Facebook like ours. And I think you would be very, very proud to be a part of it, if accountability is your standard. Also support Shannon Joy. What's up, Shannon? Download her app, everything. Support her show. She is an up-and-coming conservative talk show host. She is very, very passionate. It doesn't mean that she's always right. That doesn't mean that you always agree. But guess what? She stands for what she stands for. Please support Shannon Joy on Facebook. Just look her up. Great conservative person. And she has not let you down like all the other so-called conservative talking heads. And please share this video. Share these videos that I create. Share them with your friends. I think it's great information. The more information, the better. It's not that I'm always right. I just have my little point of view, and I don't mind sharing it. And with that being said, there's a gentleman that supports me, and I support him. It's not necessarily that we see eye to eye. See, that's the part that's really, really kind of getting this thing messed up, is the seeing eye to eye part. It's fine. I'm still going to stand on my true conservatism, even though we don't see eye to eye. But his name is Sean Z. What's up, Sean? And Sean and another one of my good friends on Facebook, David Cholesterol, he put out a post today saying something that was very intriguing to me also. But Sean asked the question, or he put out the statement of how difficult it is becoming supporting Ted Cruz. I'm not saying that he's saying that like he's thinking about jumping off the bandwagon, but there is something happening here. And it's not just a Ted Cruz thing. But this is where Sean is coming from, because he's a diehard Ted Cruz supporter. He is very active and has done a lot of things for Ted Cruz because of Ted Cruz and with Ted Cruz. And so when he posed this question, I look at it because, Sean is just, I don't see him cussing people out and things like that when they disagree. I think how he handles his support for Cruz is kind of awesome, and he allows even myself that's critical of Ted Cruz in certain areas to even still remain my friend. He doesn't block me, he doesn't boot me or anything. But Sean asked this question, and he asked me to chime in on it. He made the statement, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, that, it's becoming more difficult and difficult with Cruz, and he's going to hang in there until Houston or bust. He's going to hang in there. He's doing his best to hang in there. But he asked me my opinion. And reading it through his thread, I seen a lot of people. I forgot the one lady's name, but she was saying, you know who I'm talking about. She was saying something in regards to, Ted Cruz needs to speak to us. He needs to reassure us and things of this nature. And what's basically taking place is almost every time when I see Ted Cruz talk, it seems like he's promoting and supporting Trump. There's a lot of people out there, Ted Cruz supporters, that's subscribing to Ted Cruz is just so brilliant, and he has this brilliant strategy and things of this nature. And it's not for me to say that he's not brilliant and that he doesn't have a brilliant strategy. But this is where you guys are going with this. It's brilliant. And Ted Cruz knows this, and Ted Cruz doesn't know that, and he knows this and this. All we can go off of what he is saying when he has an opportunity to speak to us. And what it seems to be saying is he keeps supporting Trump. It's bigger than the election. Before, the excuse was he had to support Trump because it was the election or something of that nature. This is past the election now. The problem that a lot of Cruz supporters like myself had is that we sat here and watched Trump backslap, drop kick, DDT wrestling move Ted Cruz's whole freaking family. And we seen Ted Cruz, like a boss, said he is going to protect his family. Then we seen, because of politics, threw all that stuff down the drain and supported Trump. Not only did he support Trump, he encouraged us to. And the big reason then was because it can't be Hillary, which is fine. But now the election is over. There is no Hillary. There is just Trump. There is no lesser of two evils. There is just Trump, the one evil left. He is not a conservative. So there's not like no conservative principle that we need to hang on to with Trump. When he flip-flops, he lands liberal, progressive, like a Democrat. His top advisors are Democrats, his children. So there are none of these kind of fake little horses and fake little stars and shiny objects for us to latch onto. There's nothing left but Trump. And now Ted Cruz is still supporting Trump. He's still pushing Trump. The president this, the president that. It is confusing. Because as true conservatives, we're wondering, where is the conservatism at, Ted? Where is that fighting Ted Cruz? Where is that guy at? Now, if there's some kind of brilliant strategy, I'm going to admit it. I don't see it. And you guys are just like me. You're seeing the same information that I'm seeing. And you're trying to tell me there's some kind of brilliant strategy. I don't see it. This is the problem that I'm having with it. And here's my answer, Sean. You diehard Cruz supporters are not going to win Ted Cruz anything. You are the given number. You're already factored in. You are what they would want to call the second cult. Diehard Cruz supporters. And I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on you. I'm just calling it like I'm letting you understand something. You got to hear me here. Take your emotions, stick them in your pocket. Hear me here. You are diehards. There's nothing Cruz can do that can go bad for you. And it's a second cult. The same way Trump supporters are. You might not want to be called that, but see the actions, people. You're not going to win Ted Cruz anything. And then here's the bigger part. Ted Cruz supporters, listen to me. It should be about conservatism. It should be about principles, not personalities. You're doing Ted Cruz a tremendous disservice when you make it about personalities. Because here's why. Because the people that will help Ted Cruz win are people that are not in Ted Cruz's camp. They are not you. They are people that we're trying to win over with conservatism, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to win them to any specific person. I'm not trying to tell them to leave any specific person. I'm trying to show them what a specific principle looks like and how that specific principle keeps your freedom, and how that specific principle is something worth fighting for. I'm trying to show them what conservatism looks like, sounds like, smells like, tastes like. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what good friends of mine like Lita Whitener and other people like that are trying to do. We're trying to get them to understand conservatism is what needs to be protected. And as long as a person is protecting conservatism and all of its values and principles, Christianity and all its values and principles, and things of this nature, right to life and all these things, as long as you are protecting that, you're protecting your freedom. Because man is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. You can lose it with a personality. Donald Trump is a personality. We never had something so freaking awesome to show what we're talking about when it comes to principles over personalities than we have with Donald Trump. We have an opportunity to win people to conservatism. And as long as Donald Trump is the poster child for everything that's not conservatism, and Ted Cruz keeps pushing and promoting this man as the so-called standard bearer as conservatism, Ted Cruz looks like a waffling human being. And the people we're trying to win over to conservatism, and we would love to point to Ted Cruz, we can't. And if we do, this is what they're saying. You know, the new voter, the one that can help Ted Cruz win the presidency, not you diehards, the new ones. They're saying, but he's selling out to, didn't you say Donald Trump is not conservative? Then why is Ted Cruz promoting this guy so much? I'm confused. True Cruz supporters, you're confusing the new people I'm trying to get over into conservatism. Period. You're confusing them. Being a diehard Cruz supporter is not working, but being a diehard conservative can work for Ted Cruz. Here's how it works. You wonder why Ted Cruz is not talking to you, reassuring you. Why does he have to talk to you? You ever asked that question? Why does Ted Cruz have to come out and reassure you when you're already functioning like Ted Cruz only, Ted Cruz only? Why does he have to come talk to you? You're in the tank. He doesn't have to come and reassure you of anything. You're in the tank. But once you start sending the signal, Ted Cruz, this vote is not guaranteed. You have to earn this vote. Once you start showing that, Ted Cruz will start talking to you. And this goes for any of them. If you feel they're not talking to you and reassuring you, why do they have to? You're reassuring them they can do anything and you'll be there. Ted will start talking to you once you start letting them know that your votes will start walking away from him. He'll talk to you. He'll start listening to you. And you'll send a bigger signal than it's even bigger than Ted Cruz. You'll let any other Republican know. You got to talk to us. We are important. That orange liberal hiding wolf in sheep's clothes. As a matter of fact, he don't even wear sheep's clothes good enough. Talking to him means nothing to us. Promoting him means nothing to us. He's not conservative. You got to talk to us. You have to reassure us. Don't reassure the president because he's not a conservative. He is surely going to kill the conservative movement. I don't see a brilliant plan in doing that. I don't see one. Don't see it. You diehards need to add to it. I'm trying to add to conservatism, and I am trying to show any politician that wants to draw the conservative line, you will have my support. And if you start wavering the conservative line, you have my criticism. And if it seems like you're not listening to me, you have my ridicule. I would love to see Ted Cruz. But then now it comes to the second part, David Cholesterol. What's up, Dave? Reagan conservatives against the Trump cult. Very good point. All David is saying is this: we need to stop sugarcoating this stuff. Our country is in peril. And that's trying to sugarcoat the Ted Cruzes of the world and dance around the issues like freaking Turbo and Ozone and Beat Street. Damn. And us dancing around this thing is not going to save this country. We have true conservatives listening to Turtle-Face McConnell locked in a private room doing Obamacare in the secret, making us look like the biggest freaking hypocrites on the planet when we ridicule the Democrats doing something similar. David, you're right. We need to stop sugarcoating this thing for our favorite politician. They can talk in a back room. Guess what? That back room didn't elect them. Or did they? Something to think about. Who elected who? Why are you keeping it secret from the people who elected you? That's not a brilliant strategy. That's not brilliant, people. That's showing that you're a sycophant, suck-up cult. And they got your vote in the bag. And you won't let me tell you that they shouldn't have your vote in the bag? You'll come and say, Phil Williams is a hater. Trust me. Listen to that. You hear that? That's the sound of Cruz supporters leaving me. That's fine. It's no problem. It still doesn't change the fact. You diehard Cruz supporters, you diehard supporters for any candidate. If you can't add to their voting base, all you are is just a whole bunch of people on Facebook feeling good about yourself supporting your guy. I'm trying to save this country. I'm trying to save conservatism. And as long as Ted Cruz or anybody else keeps promoting This lifelong liberal, progressive, socialist, Democrat, knowing damn well he's trying to destroy conservatism, as long as anybody keeps pushing that guy, you're going to have my criticism. And you're absolutely right, David. We should stop pussyfooting around it. You should no longer have our votes. Think about it. You like Ted Cruz because he was a fighter. My good friend, I ain't going to say her name because I don't want to put her name out there, but we were talking about Ted Cruz is swimming with the sharks. Yes, he is. That's the problem. We like Ted Cruz because he fights sharks. He fights them. He's not fighting them anymore. In my humble opinion, Sean, I think Ted Cruz believes Donald Trump can impact his seat in Texas. I think that Ted Cruz bit off of that. I think Ted Cruz thinks he needs Donald Trump's supporters. Well, if you think, Ted Cruz, you think you need Donald Trump supporters, I think you're misunderstanding conservatism. I think you're misunderstanding the moral majority. I think you're misunderstanding what we need to coalesce around you. And if you can't understand that, it's hard for me to believe how brilliant you are. And that's not to say he's not brilliant, but I think you got the wrong strategy, buddy. You don't need Donald Trump supporters. They're Democrats. What you just need is the moral majority to come out for you. And any other conservative that wants to step up and be a superhero, to be a super conservative, draw the line. Donald Trump is the epitome of lack of morals. We can show how the moral majority needs to get a different kind of energy. We can show this now. It was hard to do that with Obama. Because Obama, whether you hate him or not, he wasn't as immoral. He wasn't the coochie grabber in chief. He wasn't the one that was having this crazy looking relationship with his daughters. He wasn't the one saying 2 Corinthians. He wasn't that one. He was just a Democrat, progressive liberal. But now you got one with the R next to their name, trying to make you believe that he's the only one that can save the R. The only thing R he'll save is retardation while he destroys our nation. Ted Cruz, you're reading this thing wrong. Ted Cruz supporters, you're totally reading this thing wrong if you don't think you need anybody but you. And so that means anybody being critical or anybody speaking like I'm speaking, anybody listening to what David Cholesterol is saying needs to be booted, kicked, and unfriended. You're misunderstanding this thing. And that is what's got us here. Principles over personality. Hey, I'm just doing this with honesty. And I can see my friends list shrinking now. Hey, maybe you just only wanted to hear, Cruz, Trump, Cruz. That's going to help us lose bigly all the time, brilliantly. Come on, people. Ted Cruz will start talking to you when you start letting him know his votes will start walking away from him. Hey, love you. Hey, talk to you later.